Hello, everyone. Coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show, we get to the latest. As we know, when we last ended NXT, Von Wagner had destroyed the NXT champion Braun Breaker, laying him out in the middle of the ring, where the two men have had face-to-face confrontation tonight on what implications are going to happen in the NXT title match. We'll talk about that coming up, as well as another face-to-face. We know Mandy Rose and Amber Fire has some unfinished business. They settle it in the ring coming up later on in the show. We'll get to that. Plus, two, what had happened with Austin Theory? Austin Theory was closing in, trying to regain the United States Championship. What happened next? All this and more when the Pro Wrestling Show presents the NXT Ring Report. And it starts right now. Hello, everyone. This is Kendra Dix here for your Pro Wrestling Show NXT Ring Report. Welcome all once again. Like I said, what a Pro Wrestling Show we have for you. But like I said, join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe is Karen. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing. All right, we got a lot to get to tonight. We're going to be talking about the NXT Ring Report and plus hot topics. All right, let's get started with NXT. As you see some of these matches and segments on the card that you see, that's going to be well represented. We're going to talk about it, including a shocking betrayal as well. So there's a lot going on tonight on NXT. But we get things started with Joe Gacy going against Cameron Grimes. We know Joe Gacy wanted Cameron Grimes in his faction, his group. But Joe Gacy picks up the win. I was stunning upset. We know last week Joe Gacy revealed that he had a new member of his flock. He had Ava Rain in his flock. Ava Rain, the daughter of The Rock. She's now making an emergence on being the manager. And what emergence she did, she played dividends tonight with helping Joe Gacy win his match over Cameron Grimes. So that was a kind of like a shocker right there. Cameron Grimes getting the upset and stuff. Well, not Cameron Grimes, but Joe Gacy. We kind of figured Joe Gacy was sick, twisted, demented. He's just like Bray Wyatt, but NXT's version of Bray Wyatt. More sick, disturbed, more mentally insane if you want to go there. But we can go there. But we know that Joe Gacy won his match tonight over Cameron Grimes in a stunning upset. What an upset it was. So we'll get to that. Also, too, Carmelo Hayes trying to regroup from what had happened to him a couple of weeks ago. Couldn't win the NXT North American Championship. But Carmelo sat down the barbershop to explain what he needs to do. And he might be setting himself up for a challenge against you know who. Wesley, the NXT champion, NXT North American champion. Some way, somehow, Carmelo Hayes trying to regroup, refocus his self. Get Carmelo Hayes. Like do that barbershop stuff like LeBron James and the rest of them trying to place dividends and place themselves into that. So we'll see that. Also, too, Scripps been sending these subliminal messages on who he is and what he's all about. We don't know who Scripps can be. It could be anybody. But Scripps wrote all these messages and stuff, which was really telling to the fact that Scripps trying to get himself in contention on what he wants to do and what he needs to do in order to give himself that little nudge and that little attitude and stuff. But like I said, we don't know who this man could be. The only thing we know is right now, Scripps could be closing in sooner rather than you think. So we can see that soon, however that might be. Also, too, Electra Lopez, mine is not being with La Fantasma, was in singles action against um what got her name? Indy Hartwell. Indy Hartwell trying to get herself in for position and stuff. Indy Hartwell and Alexa Lopez is far from over. I think Alexa Lopez trying to distance herself, branch herself away from La Fantasma, which I believe one day she might come back a part of it. Just right now, Zelina Vega has that group trying to get it rebuilt and established. So we'll see on that. Speaking of that, we know Alba Fire and Mandy Rose had a face-to-face on there. We know that next week now, they're gonna have a last woman standing match. I guess every woman gonna have a last woman standing match, but this time Mandy Rose and Alba Fire will have a last woman standing match next week on NXT. I guess they're trying to follow the success of Bianca Belair and Bayley from Crown Jewel this past week. So they're gonna have a last woman standing match um for the NXT Women's Championship. Alba Fire wants to be NXT Women's Champion so bad she can taste it, she can sense it. But can Alba Fire extinguish that's Mandy Rose, who's been on a roll as of late? Mandy Rose has been on a roll, and Mandy Rose carries all the gold, and Mandy Rose gets what she wants. But in order for her to do so, she has to extinguish to keep her reign going. She has to extinguish Alba Fire one way or another. So we'll see that next week in their I guess this will be the first NXT last woman standing match for women. So we'll see that next week. Also, too, um, William Regal's son was in action. He looks like his father. He looks like William Regal. The face, the structure. Um, he won his match in a debut. Also, too, Stacks won his match as well. I guess if you put Stacks and Cole Carter back together, who knows? But that's AEW. Also, too, Apollo Crews was there. Apollo Crews talking about life, I guess life in general. So Apollo Crews living his life, living his best life. So we'll see how that gonna play out and stuff. So Apollo Crews, we know next week he'll be in action against JD Madonna. JD Madonna sending a message to Apollo Crews that he'll take him out one way or another. He won his match earlier tonight, so we'll see that. Also, too, Exxon Lee was in action as well. He was in action, so against JD Madonna. That's why I think he had his little issues earlier tonight. Plus, too, Shawn Michaels. You might well say he's the head of NXT. Might well call him the commissioner. The commissioner Shawn Michaels issues a statement on Deadline. What would that be? Shawn Michaels gonna give us something about Deadline. What's it gonna entail? We'll see about it next week from the HBK, the Heartbreak Kid himself. Plus, too, we said this. Brutus was in action against Chad Gable's brother. Forgot his name, but he won his match. I think he was in a match against Damian Kemp in a 5-minute challenge, and Damian Kemp lost the match due to 5 minutes. So we'll see on that. Also, too, was a face-to-face between what had happened last week, when Braun Breaker got unceremoniously attacked last week. He got attacked last week from Von Wagner, who wants a title match, as the Von Wagner's manager had came in to say, "Hey, we want a championship match." Braun denied the claim, and I guess this is what Braun had to figure out for himself, that Von Wagner wants the title one way or another. Well, we know that both men were guests, and they were a guest on Grayson Waller's Effect show. That turned to be like what would you call it, like catastrophic. We know that next week the challenge has been issued. The NXT title, Braun Breaker laid down the challenge that he's going to defend his NXT title against Von Wagner. That match I want to see. Two men, two big guys, two men who got speed, power, and strength, going to duke it out for the NXT Championship next week. And we said finally was this. The women's tag team championship match was on the line. We know that Katie Carter and Katita Chance defending their championship against Zoe Stark and Nikia Lyons. We thought the match they was gonna win, Nikia Lyons and Zoe Starks was gonna win, but the champions availed and pulled through the upset against Carter, Nikia Lyons, and Starks. But this was the shocking turn of events right here. Zoe Starks turned her back on Nikia Lyons and left her lane. Nikia Lyons didn't see it coming. Former tag team partners now collide. These two women were close and were close and edging in to become. One of them was going to be the well, both of them were wanting to gun for the tag team titles. It just didn't happen that way tonight. It kind of felt, but Zoe Starks, we don't know what's her issue with Nikia Lyons. Only time will tell. We hopefully get a why she did what she did, and we hope to get that next week on NXT. All right, that ends your NXT Ring Report. Right now, coming up right now, we're going to talk about Wrestling Hot Topics. All right, on Wrestling Hot Topics, we got a lot to talk about. We're still talking about the aftermath on what had happened this past yesterday on Raw when Theory was close to winning the United States Championship. He tried to cash in the the Money in the Bank briefcase. He failed unsuccessfully on his briefcase win due to interference from Lashley. Lashley cost Theory the it just didn't play out the way Theory wanted. Theory won the Money in the Bank briefcase this earlier this summer by winning as a surprise entrant, and he unsuccessfully cashed it in. And a lot of you people had a lot to say about it. As you see right here, Theory got pinned by Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins still retains his United States Championship in a shocking fashion than what had happened. But a lot of people, let's hear what your reactions was about it. As you say right here, Baron Corbin, the Monday Day Wrestling God, told Theory, welcome to the club, welcome to a special group led by John Cena. I guess Theory now is the fifth man to attempt to cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase and fail indefinitely. We know that Theory, a lot of people went back saying this. They said, did Austin Theory walk in on Stephanie naked or something? Why Triple H buried him so bad? We don't know what's going to be a redemption storyline, but Theory no longer the Money in the Bank contract holder. We showed you this, Baron Corbin, what he had said tonight. A lot of people had a lot to say. So how that be? So we hope Theory could redeem himself, and hopefully we don't know what's next for Theory. But after being buried like that, how you gonna go back from there? Speaking of somebody that coming back from the ashes, MJF will be starring in the Von Erich movie, and he'll be cast as Lance Von Erich. He does not look like Lance Von Erich, but hey, it is what it is. MJF now going to be cast as Lance Von Erich in the Von Erich movie coming up sometime next year, starring Zac Efron. So we'll keep you details on what other wrestling name going to show up. But speaking of MJF, he will be on AEW Dynamite tomorrow. So we'll hear from what MJF got to say. So we'll see from there. Also, too, Warhorse Warhorse, independent star, and his girlfriend or wife saying they're pregnant. A baby is coming soon. Congratulations, or the Warhorse on that moment and stuff. What else happened? And we talked about Crown Jewel, the Crown Jewel of wrestling WWE. Crown Jewel has surpassed Clash at the Castle to be the most viewed international premium live event ever. So congratulations to WWE on that matter as well. We know tomorrow we'll get to a little bit more on the Nick Aldis and Billy Corgan situation. It turned real nasty in a hurry. We'll talk about that tomorrow. All right, we're gonna leave you with this: Nikita Lyons being decimated by Zoe Stark on why she did what she did, but we'll have to wait and see. Thank you all for watching this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show presents the NXT Ring Report. I've been your host, Kendrick Dix, saying so long, and we'll see you tomorrow for AEW Dynamite Ring Report on the Pro Wrestling Show. See you later.